She was just a humble maid. But when a 12-year-old boy pointed at her among 5 wealthy women, shouting, "I choose her to be my mom," she realized a child's heart sometimes sees what adults miss. "Ethan, come here now." James Carter stood in the backyard of his Miami mansion, deciding he couldn't wait any longer. 3 years without Sarah was too much. That 12-year-old needed a mother, and he'd fix it today. Ethan was playing alone near the pool, stacking pebbles, as he did to fade into the background. Since his mother's sudden passing, the boy drifted like a ghost through the house. "What's up, Dad?" "Sit here, I need to talk." Ethan walked slowly, his hazel eyes mirroring Sarah's. James felt his chest tighten, but pushed the thought aside. He couldn't dwell forever. "Son, you know I love you, right?" Ethan nodded. He spoke little lately, smiled even less. "Your mom always wanted us happy, even after she couldn't stay." "I know. That's why I've made a big decision. You're getting a new mom." Ethan froze, pebbles still in hand. "What do you mean?" "I've picked 5 amazing women. You'll meet them today and choose one to be your new mom." Ethan's face paled. "Today?" "They're already on their way." Ethan stood, knocking over his pebbles. "I don't want to meet anyone." "You do. They're beautiful, rich, refined. One will take great care of you." "I don't need anyone." James felt anger rise. At work, his word was law. His son wouldn't defy him. "Ethan, stop this nonsense. You haven't even met them." "I don't want to." "It's not about want. It's about need. This house needs a woman. You need a mom. I had a mom." Ethan shouted, anger startling James. "She died, remember? Or have you forgotten her?" The words cut James like a blade. "I haven't forgotten your mom, but life moves on, Ethan. It moved for you. For me, it stopped when she left." Ethan headed toward the backyard's dense trees. James grabbed his arm. "You're staying here to meet these women." "Let me go." Ethan pulled away. "You can't force me. I'm your father. I can." "Some father. A real dad wouldn't make me pick a fake mom." The words hit James like a punch. Ethan broke free, sprinting into the bushes. Then James heard cars arriving. The 5 women were here, and Ethan was gone. Clara Evans was cleaning the living room windows when she saw luxury cars pull up. Black BMW, white Mercedes, silver Audi, a magazine-worthy parade. "Clara, Maria." The housekeeper rushed in. "The boss says stay in the laundry room. Don't roam the house." "Why?" "Who's visiting?" Maria whispered. "He brought women for Ethan to meet." "Looking for a new wife?" Clara's heart sank. In 8 months working there, she'd grown fond of the quiet boy, lost in a mansion full of people but empty of love. Ethan sought her out when James was away, and Clara always listened to his wild stories. How'd Ethan take it? Bad. He fled to the backyard, won't come back. The boss is frantic. Clara glanced out, seeing 5 women step from the cars. All flawless. High heels, designer clothes, salon hair like pricey dolls. Poor Ethan. "Clara, stay out of it. The boss is on edge. If he knows you talk to Ethan, you're fired." But Clara couldn't stop thinking about Ethan, alone in the backyard. Was he crying? Scared? At 12, he'd already lost his mom. Now they wanted him to pick a replacement, like choosing ice cream. From the kitchen window, she saw James greeting the women at the entrance, all smiling, charming, eyeing the city's richest widower's fortune. "Where's Ethan, Maria?" "I'm just checking the backyard plants." "Clara, don't go." But she was already out the back door, a gut feeling telling her Ethan needed help. The mansion's backyard was vast, pool area, sprawling lawn, and a wooded section with a small bridge over a creek. There under the bridge, Clara found Ethan, curled up, head buried in his arms. He wasn't crying, but his sadness hung heavy. "Ethan, you okay, sweetie?" He looked up, startled, then relaxed, seeing Clara. "Aunt Clara, I don't want to go back." She sat beside him on the grass, ignoring her uniform's dirt. "What happened?" "My dad want me to pick a new mom from 5 strangers." His voice carried a grief too heavy for his age. Clara fought tears. "You don't want a new mom?" "I had a mom, Aunt Clara. Her name was Sarah, and she loved me for real. These women don't. They don't even know me." "How do you know?" "They're here for Dad's money, Not me. My real mom loved me before I was born when I cried, when I was sick. Always. Clara swallowed hard. At 12, Ethan saw truths adults ignored. Your dad's probably hurting too. Sometimes adults mess up when their hearts ache. He forgot mom, removed her photos, now wants me to call a stranger mom. Clara held his cold hand. Can I tell you a secret, sweetie? Sure. Your mom's not really gone. She's in your heart, your memories, the way you're kind like she was. Ethan looked into her eyes. Aunt Clara, every night I talk to mom before bed. I tell her about my day, ask if she's okay. What did she say last night? That my heart would know who should care for me, not dad deciding. Clara shivered. And what's your heart saying? He stared at her. It says you're the only one in this house who truly cares about me. James's voice echoed across the backyard. Ethan, where are you? Come here. Ethan shrank. He'll make me choose. Clara made a life-changing decision. Stay here. I'll talk to your dad. No, Aunt Clara. He'll fire you. He won't. I won't let anyone hurt you, Ethan. I promise. Clara stood, brushed off her uniform, and met James near the pool, red with rage, the 5 women watching. Mr. Carter. Clara, what are you doing here? I told you to stay in the kitchen. Ethan's hiding in the backyard. He doesn't want to meet these women. Where is he? James stepped forward, intimidating. He's scared, sir. He's a 12-year-old who misses his mom. A brunette in a blue dress laughed. Such drama. Just a spoiled kid's tantrum. Clara turned to her coldly. Do you have kids? No. Then don't speak on what you don't know. James flushed with anger. Clara, how dare you talk to my guest like that? I'm defending Ethan. He needs love, not pressure. He needs to learn I'm his father, and he obeys. He needs love, Mr. Carter, not forced obedience. The backyard fell silent. The women watched, as if viewing a soap opera. A maid arguing with her millionaire boss. You're fired, James hissed. No. Ethan's voice cut through. Everyone turned. He'd emerged, running, face red from crying. Don't fire Aunt Clara. She's the only one who gets me. Ethan stopped before Clara, clutching her uniform skirt like a toddler seeking safety. Ethan, come here now, James ordered. I'm staying with Aunt Clara. A brunette in a red dress muttered. What an embarrassing situation. The kid's rude. Ethan spun to her, furious. You don't know me. You're here for my dad's money. Ethan, James shouted, but Ethan pointed at Clara. If I have to choose, I choose Aunt Clara as my new mom. Silence gripped the backyard. The women gaped. James went pale. Clara felt the ground vanish. Ethan kept shouting. She's the one who cares about me. That's my choice. Aunt Clara, you're out of your mind. Ethan, James roared. The women stood stunned, unable to believe a 12-year-old chose the maid over them. I'm not crazy. Ethan clung to Clara's skirt. I know what I'm saying. The brunette in blue laughed nervously. James, this is just childish nonsense. He's confused. I'm not confused, Ethan snapped. You don't get it. Ethan, stop this, James bellowed. Apologize to the ladies and come with me. I won't apologize to people who don't deserve it. Clara tried to calm him. Ethan, sweetie, hush. James exploded at Clara. You, shut up. You're fired, end of story. No. Ethan screamed, loud enough for neighbors to hear. If she goes, I go too. The woman in yellow murmured. This is awkward. We should leave. No, please, James pleaded. He's just upset. Let's go inside, have coffee, talk calmly. But Ethan wasn't calm. He let go of Clara's skirt and faced the women. Want to know why I don't choose any of you? Ethan. James tried to stop him. Let him speak. The woman in red said, Curious. Ethan took a deep breath. Because you don't even know my name right. Do you know what food I like? That I have nightmares every night? You only know my dad's rich. The blonde in green folded her arms. Obviously, we don't know those things yet. We just met. Exactly. You want to marry my dad without knowing me. Aunt Clara's known me 8 months. She knows I like stacking pebbles, that I'm scared of the dark, that I talk to my mom every night. Clara's heart ached. The boy was defending her fiercely. "This is absurd," the brunette in blue said. "A maid can't raise a rich family's child. She lacks proper education. Do you have heart?" Ethan shot back. "I can learn anything, but a good heart like Aunt Clara's is rare." The woman had no reply. James was losing control. "Enough, Ethan, to your room now." "Clara, pack your things and leave." "Dad, don't you hear me?" Ethan cried, tears streaming. "You never listen." "Mom listened. Your mom's dead, Ethan. She's not coming back." "I know she's dead," Ethan screamed. "But that doesn't mean I have to accept just anyone in her place." The backyard fell silent, stunned by Ethan's outburst. The woman in red coughed. "James, your son needs therapy. This isn't normal." "Normal is having a mom," Ethan shouted. "Do you have kids?" "No." "Then don't talk about what you don't know." James grabbed Ethan's arm. "Stop being rude." "Ow, you're hurting me." Clara stepped forward without thinking. "Mr. Carter, he's just a child, and you're just a maid who's overstepped with my son." "I only you what?" Filled his head with crazy ideas. "Made him cling to you to cause this mess?" Clara paled. "Sir, I'd never do that." "Liar," James roared. "For 8 months, you manipulated my son, took advantage of his neediness." "That's not true." Ethan freed himself. "Stop yelling at her." "Aunt Clara never did anything wrong." "She did," James insisted. "She used you." "She helped me," Ethan sobbed. "When I had nightmares, she talked to me. When I was sad, she listened." "Where were you, Dad?" The question echoed like a gunshot. James had no answer. The women exchanged uneasy glances. The blonde in yellow whispered, "This is too heavy. Let's go." "No," James panicked. "You can't leave. I'll fix this." But they were already heading to their cars, murmuring. In 5 minutes, the luxury cars vanished. James stood in the backyard, watching his plan unravel. He turned, fury in his eyes. "You did it, Ethan. You drove them away." "I didn't. They left on their own, because of the chaos you caused." Clara tried to speak. "Mr. Carter, you—" "Be quiet," he roared. "Pack your things and get out. I never want to see you again." "No." Ethan threw himself in front of Clara. "She's not going." "She is. And you're grounded to your room." "I'm not going." James grabbed Ethan's arm, dragging him toward the house. Ethan thrashed, crying, screaming for help. "Let me go. I want Aunt Clara." "Forget that woman. She manipulated you." Clara stood frozen, wanting to help but knowing it had worsened things. "Mr. Carter," a voice shouted from the gate. It was Maria, the housekeeper, running toward them. "What's going on?" I heard yelling from the kitchen. "Maria, take this woman to pack her things. I want her out in 10 minutes." Maria looked at Clara, then Ethan, struggling in James's arms, then James, wild with rage. "Sir, what did Clara do?" "She poisoned my son's mind, made him cling to her to cause trouble." "That's not true," Clara finally spoke. "I only cared for Ethan when he needed it." "Liar," James bellowed. Ethan broke free, running to Clara, grabbing her waist. "Aunt Clara, don't leave me, please." Clara hugged the trembling boy. "Ethan, I promise, don't go." James lunged to separate them, but Maria stepped in. "Mr. Carter, calm down. Look at the boy." Ethan was in a panic, sobbing, shaking, barely breathing. I can't breathe," he gasped. Clara knelt to his level. "Ethan, breathe with me. In, out." "I can't." Maria grew alarmed. "Sir, he's having an anxiety attack." "Anxiety?" "He's 12. Kids get them too, sir, especially after loss." James looked at his son, unraveling in Clara's arms, and felt fear for the first time. Ethan was purple from crying, sweating, trembling. "Ethan," he tried to approach. "No," the boy screamed. "You'll send her away. You don't care about me, only work." The accusation hit James hard, but his pride wouldn't yield. "Maria, call a doctor," he ordered. "No doctor needed," Clara said softly, still holding Ethan. "He just needs to calm down." "Ethan, listen, you're safe. No one will hurt you." Slowly, Ethan's trembling knees, his breathing steadied, but he clung to Clara. "There, sweetie, it's over," Clara whispered. James watched. In 8 months, he'd never seen Ethan in such a state, nor Clara calm him so well. But pride spoke louder. "Maria, take Clara to pack. I want her out in an hour." Ethan lifted his head. "If she goes, I go too. You're staying here. Then I'll run away. I'll call the police." Ethan looked at his father with heartbreaking sadness. "You really hate me, don't you, Dad?" "I don't hate you. You do. Since Mom died, you hate me. That's why you work all the time. Why you want to pawn me off on some woman. Why you took down Mom's photos." James was speechless. Ethan turned to Clara. "Aunt Clara, thank you for caring for me. I'll never forget you." He walked inside slowly like a weary old man. Clara stood in the backyard, heart shattered, watching the 12-year-old carry a pain too big for his small chest. "Maria," James said hoarsely, "help her pack." He went inside, leaving Clara alone where an hour ago, Ethan had chosen her as his mom. Now she was fired, rejected, losing the boy she'd come to love like a son. 3 days passed since Clara left. 3 days felt like 3 years for Ethan. He stayed in his room, spoke to no one, barely ate. Maria brought meals up, took full plates down. Mr. Carter, she tried on day 2. "Ethan's not eating. He'll eat when he's hungry," James replied, eyes on his laptop. "He hasn't spoken in 2 days. It'll pass. Just a tantrum." But Maria knew it wasn't. Ethan was wasting away, consumed by grief, and James pretended not to see. On the 3rd morning, the phone rang. It was Jessica Moore, the brunette in blue. "James, darling, how are you?" "Oh, hi, Jessica. I'm fine. I've been thinking about that awful scene at your place." "Terrible, right?" James sighed. "It was embarrassing. Sorry." "No, darling, not your fault. That manipulative maid's to blame." "What?" "Obviously. She schemed it all. 8 months cozying up to the kid, playing the victim, winning his trust. All planned." James paused. "You think so?" "I'm sure. Poor woman sees a rich widower with a kid. Sees her chance. Bet she was after you from day one. She was always diligent. Of course, part of the act. James, you're sharp in business but naive with people." Jessica's words clicked in James's muddled mind. Maybe she was right. Maybe Clara had manipulated Ethan. "Here's my thought," Jessica continued. "Give us another shot. Without that woman stirring trouble, Ethan will warm to us." "I don't know, Jessica. He was so upset." "Exactly. His mind's been poisoned. It needs time to clear. How about we come back Saturday, no pressure, just talk?" James hesitated. He hasn't spoken to anyone in 3 days. Precisely. He misses the manipulation. Once he sees she's gone for good, he'll need someone to fill the void. That's us. It made sense, at least to James. "Okay, come Saturday afternoon." "Perfect, darling." And James, be firmer with Ethan. Kids need boundaries. If he acts up, show who's boss. Hanging up, James felt confident. Maybe Jessica was right. Maybe Clara had manipulated Ethan. Now he'd fix it. Meanwhile, in a cheap boarding house room, Clara couldn't stop thinking about Ethan. Was he eating? Having nightmares? Who comforted him? She tried calling Maria, but the house phone went unanswered. James likely banned contact. Thursday night, returning from the store, she spotted Maria at a bus stop. "Maria." Clara ran over. "Helena, you scare me." Maria glanced around nervously. "I can't talk. If the boss finds out, how's Ethan?" "Bad, really bad. Doesn't eat, doesn't talk, stays in his room, wasting away." Clara's heart clenched. "And Mr. Carter pretends it's nothing, says it's a tantrum, but I know it's not. Clara, he's suffering. I have to do something." "You can't. He banned you from the house. If he knows you're here, I'm fired too." Maria's bus arrived. She boarded, shouting from the window, "The women are back Saturday." Clara stood on the sidewalk, processing. The 5 women were returning, and Ethan was too weak to cope. It'd be a disaster. Saturday came. The 5 women arrived at James's Miami home at 3 p.m., better prepared. They'd strategized all week. "James, darling," Jessica said, "we brought gifts for Ethan to break the ice." "Great idea." We discussed the situation. We know the boy was manipulated. We won't push him today. James led them to the living room. Ethan hadn't come down. Maria called him 3 times before he appeared at the top of the stairs. Clara would have been shocked. In 3 days, Ethan had withered, pale, dark circles, sickly. "Ethan, come here, son. The ladies are visiting." He shuffled down, sat in a far armchair, head down, silent. "Hi, Ethan," Jessica cooed. "We brought gifts." Ethan glanced up, said nothing. "Look." The blonde in green, now in blue, showed a big box. A brand new video game console. Ethan stared, uninterested. "I got this." The brunette in red, now in pink, held up an expensive bike for riding in the backyard. "I brought cool clothes." Another blonde, in white today, showed designer bags. "And I got educational books." The last, in purple, stacked books on the table. Ethan looked at it all, silent, then stood and spoke for the first time in 3 days. "Where's Aunt Clara?" Silence. "Ethan," James said sternly, "forget that woman. She's gone." "Why?" "Because she wasn't good for you." "She was," Ethan insisted. James exploded. "She manipulated you, made you cling to her to cause trouble." Ethan's eyes welled. "That's not true." "It is. Now you'll get to know these ladies. One will be your new mom. I don't want any of them." Jessica leaned toward Ethan. "Sweetie, I know you're confused. That woman fed you lies about us." "What lies?" "That we only want your dad's money? That we don't care about you? That's nonsense, Ethan. We want to be your family." Ethan's expression was too old for his 12 years. "If you care so much, why hasn't anyone asked how I'm doing?" The question caught them off guard. "What do you mean, sweetie?" "I haven't eaten right in 3 days. I haven't slept. Did you know?" The women exchanged glances, stumped. "You know I cry every night. Have nightmares about my mom, miss her every day?" Ethan James tried to cut in. "You know Aunt Clara was the only one who asked how I was when I woke up sad, who listened when I wanted to talk about Mom." The women shifted, unprepared for this. "Ethan," the blonde in blue tried. "We can learn to care for you." "Learn?" Ethan stood. "You want to learn to care about me?" Aunt Clara didn't need to learn. She cared from day one. "Because she was after your dad," Jessica said thoughtlessly. "Liar," Ethan shouted. "Aunt Clara never tried to win my dad. She just cared for me when I needed it." James stood too. "Ethan, stop it." "I won't. You sent away the only person who cared about me, and now want me to pretend I like them." The woman in pink stood, annoyed. "James, this kid's impossible. Needs serious discipline." "You're right," James agreed. "Ethan, to your room now." "I'm going, and I won't come down." Ethan ran upstairs, slamming his door. "James," Jessica said, "you need to be tougher with him. Kids can't run the house." "I know. Sorry." "Don't apologize," the blonde in blue said. "It's that manipulative maid's fault. But with time and firmness, you'll fix it." Meanwhile, the one in pink suggested, "Why don't you choose one of us? It doesn't have to be Ethan. You're the dad. You decide." James looked at the 5 women, all beautiful, rich, eager to marry him. It's what he wanted 3 days ago. So why did he feel so empty? "I'll think about it," he said. "I need time." When they left, James went to Ethan's room, knocked, got no answer. He tried the handle, locked. "Ethan," opened the door. Silence. "Ethan." Nothing. James stood in the hallway, realizing he might have made a terrible mistake, but pride wouldn't let him admit it. Behind the door, Ethan curled up on his bed, clutching a teddy bear his mom gave him for his last birthday. He cried softly, whispering to the bear, "Mom, Aunt Clara's gone. Dad sent her away. Now I'm alone again." The bear didn't answer, but Ethan pretended it did. "I know you don't like me being sad, but I can't stop. I love Aunt Clara, and now she can't care for me." Ethan tried to sleep, knowing nightmares would come with no one to comfort him. Downstairs, James tried to work in the study but couldn't focus. Ethan's words echoed. "You want to learn to care about me?" The simple question stirred something deep. Had Clara really manipulated Ethan? Or did she genuinely care? Worse, had he been a terrible father these 3 years? The questions were too hard. It was easier to blame Clara and stick to his plan. In business, you don't backtrack, even if it's destroying your son. A week later, Ethan was worse. Maria brought breakfast and found him collapsed in the bathroom. "Mr. Carter," she screamed. "Come quick." James dropped everything, ran upstairs, and saw Ethan on the floor, pale, unconscious. The world spun. "What happened?" "I don't know. I brought breakfast and found him like this." James scooped up his son. Too light, too warm. "Call the doctor now." Dr. Michael arrived in 20 minutes. Examined Ethan in bed. The boy was awake but weak, listless, silent. "James, I need to talk," the doctor said. They went to the study. "What's wrong with him?" "Physically, malnutrition, dehydration, exhaustion. But the real issue isn't physical." "What?" "Your son has severe childhood depression. He's letting himself waste away from grief." James felt gut-punched. Depression? He's 12. Kids get depressed too, especially after major losses. But his mom died 3 years ago. Not just his mom, recent losses. Maria told me about a maid who cared for him well. James tensed. "Clara, but she's gone because she manipulated him." Dr. Michael stared hard. "James, I've known you since Ethan was born. Can I be blunt?" "Yes." "Was this woman manipulating? Or did you resent her for caring for your son better than you?" The question hit like a bullet. "What? In 3 years, how often did you check on Ethan when he cried?" "I work a lot, doctor." Maria said Clara checked every time, knew his nightmares, habits, fears. Is that manipulation or care? James was silent, and those 5 women came back. How'd Ethan react? Badly. Didn't want them. You thought it was a tantrum? I did. Dr. Michael shook his head. "James, your son's dying of sadness. Literally dying. Act fast or it's hospitalization. Feeding tubes, intensive therapy." "That's serious?" "Yes." "The fix isn't medicine. It's giving Ethan what he needs most. Someone who truly cares, not for money or gain, but love." After the doctor left, James sat alone in the study, reeling. He went to see Ethan, asleep but pained even in rest. The phone rang. "Jessica." "James, darling, how are you?" "Not great. Ethan passed out this morning. Doctor says it's depression." "Oh, poor thing. We've been talking about you. We want to help." "How?" "One of us could move in for a bit. Care for Ethan, get him used to us." "I don't know Jessica. He's fragile." "Exactly. He needs a mother figure." "We're here, ready. Just pick one." "Let me think." "No thinking. I'll come tonight. Care for Ethan until he's better." She hung up before James could argue. At 8 p.m., Jessica arrived with 2 suitcases. "I'm staying a few days. Where's the guest room?" Maria showed her, help with bags, but worried. She knew Ethan, and Jessica would only make things worse. "Mr. Carter," Maria tried. "Is this wise? Ethan needs a mom." Jessica offered to help, but he doesn't like her. He'll have to. No other choice. Jessica swept down at dinner like she owned the place, in an expensive silk dress. Charming James. "Ethan's not joining us?" "He hasn't eaten in days," James explained. "Leave it to me. I'll talk to him." "Jessica, he's frail. That's why he needs firmness. Kids can't rule the house." Against James's wishes, Jessica went to Ethan's room, knocked, and entered without waiting. Ethan was in bed, clutching his bear, staring at the ceiling. "Hi, Ethan. I'm visiting." He looked at her, silent. "I hear you're not eating. That's got to stop. Okay? Silence." "Ethan, I'm talking to you." "It's rude not to answer." "I didn't ask you to come," Ethan said quietly. "Doesn't matter. I'm here because I care." Ethan's tired eyes met hers. "You don't care about me." "I do." "Why?" The question stumped Jessica. "What? Why do you care? We know about me. You're a smart kid. Anyone can see that. What else?" Jessica was blank. Ethan pressed. "Do you know my favorite color? What food I hate? Why I have nightmares? What my mom's voice was like?" "Ethan, we learn those things over time." Aunt Clara knew in a week. Forget that woman. She wasn't good for you. Ethan sat up, angry for the first time in days. How can you say that? You didn't know her. I know her type. Poor woman preying on a rich family. Aunt Clara never preyed on anything. She cared because she cared. She wanted your dad's money. Ethan stood, shaking with rage. You're a liar. Jessica stood too. Don't talk to me like that. I will. You don't know Aunt Clara. She's good. You're the one after my dad's money. You're a spoiled, rude kid. And you're a fake. Jessica, losing control, slapped Ethan's face. The sound echoed. Ethan froze, hand on his red cheek, eyes brimming with tears of shock and pain. You hit me? He whispered. Jessica realized her mistake. Ethan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, but Ethan was already running, screaming, Dad, Dad. James was finishing dinner when he heard Ethan. The boy ran downstairs, threw himself into James's arms, sobbing. What happened? She hit me, Dad. The woman hit me. James looked at Jessica, descending with a guilty look. Jessica, is this true? It was an accident. He disrespected me, said awful things. You hit my son? Just a little slap. He was rude. James felt a rage he'd never known. How dare you hit my child? James, calm down. You hit Ethan. Ethan clung to his father, the handprint still red. Get out of my house. James said coldly. What? Out. Now. Jessica tried to argue, but James was livid. In 15 minutes, she was on the street with her bags, calling a taxi. Alone, James took Ethan to the living room, checked his face. Does it hurt? Ethan shook his head, but kept crying. Why'd she hit you? I defended Aunt Clara. She said Clara only wanted money. I said it was a lie. She got mad and hit me. Ethan, are you sure Clara cared for you? Ethan looked at his father, eyes red. Yes, Dad. She was the only one who asked if I was okay, who listened when I wanted to talk about Mom. Why didn't you tell me? Because you were never around to listen. The word stung worse than any slap. James hugged his son, truly hearing him for the first time in 3 years. Son, I'm sorry. I've been a terrible dad. You're not terrible, Dad. You just forgot how to care for me after Mom died. Now what? Ethan looked hopeful for the first time in weeks. We bring Aunt Clara back. James was silent. Pride screamed no. Clara was just a maid. But seeing his bruised, malnourished, depressed son, he knew pride wasn't worth Ethan's happiness. Where's she living now? I don't know, but Maria might. James called Maria, who was in the kitchen, pretending not to have heard the chaos. Maria, do you know where Clara is? Yes, sir. She's in a boarding house downtown. Got the address? Yes. Why? James looked at Ethan, eyes full of hope. Because tomorrow morning, I'm getting her. Ethan smiled the first time in weeks. In that smile, James saw he'd made the most important decision of his life. Not for pride or convenience, but for love. James didn't sleep. He sat in Ethan's room, watching him sleep, really seeing him for the first time in 3 years. So thin, so pale, so fragile for 12. How had he been so blind? Ethan stirred, murmuring, Aunt Clara, don't go. Dream or nightmare, James couldn't tell. He touched Ethan's forehead, hot, sweaty. Ethan woke, startled. Dad? I'm here, son. You were dreaming. I dreamed Aunt Clara came back, then left again. Ethan, look at me. I'm getting Clara this morning. I'll apologize and ask her to return. Ethan's eyes widened. Really, Dad? Really? But I need your help. With what? To understand what I did wrong. Tell me what it's been like here since your mom died. Ethan paused, gathering thoughts, then spoke. When Mom died, you vanished, Dad. Vanished? I was working. You were running. From me, from memories, from everything. James felt punched. Those first months, I cried every night. Who comforted me? Maria. You never came up once. Ethan, let me, Dad, wait. My birthdays? Maria planned them. When I was sick, Maria stayed. Nightmares? No one. I was alone until they passed. Each word stabbed James's heart. Then Aunt Clara came. In her first week, she noticed I woke up crying. Know what she did? What? Asked if I wanted to talk. Simple. No one else ever did. And you talked? Yeah. I told her I miss Mom. Feared you'd leave too. Felt alone in a house full of people. James's eyes filled with tears. Why didn't you tell me? Every time I mentioned Mom, you changed the subject. When I cried, you told me be strong. When I needed you, you were working. Son, Aunt Clara didn't do that. She let me cry, let me talk about Mom. Know what helped most? What? She said missing Mom wasn't weakness. Crying for someone you love is normal. Mom would be proud of how much I love her. James broke down. 3 years of guilt, suppressed pain, and bad choices pouring out in tears. I'm sorry, Ethan. Sorry for being such a bad dad. You're not bad, Dad. You were hurting like me, but now we can help each other. How? You stopped running from me, and I stopped being scared to talk to you. James hugged Ethan like he hadn't in 3 years. In that room, something healed, not everything, but enough to start. Dad, Ethan said after a bit, will Aunt Clara forgive me? Why wouldn't she? You did nothing wrong, but she might be hurt. You fired her, said awful things. James sighed. Yeah, I was unfair. You need to apologize for real. I will. What if she won't come back? Ethan looked sad. Then we accept it. But at least she'll know we're sorry. At 7 a.m., James showered, dressed, and asked Maria to prepare a special breakfast basket for Clara as a peace offering. Maria, will she forgive me? Depends on how you talk to her, Maria said. Clara's good, but she has pride. If you go ordering her, she won't take it. If I go to apologize, then she might listen. James took the basket and drove off. Ethan wanted to go, but was too weak. Bring her back, Dad, please. I will, son, I promise. The boarding house was in an old part of downtown Miami, a peeling building far from the Carter Mansion. James parked, sat for minutes, gathering courage. He climbed to the 3rd floor, knocked on room 305. Who is it? Clara's voice. It's James. Silence. Clara! Please, I need talk. The door opened slowly. Clara stood in a simple dress, hair loose, no makeup, still beautiful. But her expression struck James. Not anger, not resentment, but deep sadness. What do you want, sir? To apologize. Clara blinked. In 8 months working for James, she'd never heard him apologize. For what? Everything. Firing you unfairly, believing you manipulated Ethan, treating you badly. Clara opened the door wider, but didn't invite him in. What changed? Why are you here now? James took a breath. Ethan's sick. Childhood depression. The doctor says he's letting himself die of sadness. Clara paled. Depression? He's 12. Yeah, and the doctor said the fix isn't medicine. It's giving Ethan what he needs most. What's that? James looked into her eyes. Someone who truly cares about him. Someone like you. Clara looked down. Mr. Carter, there's more. Last night, one of the women hit Ethan. Hit him? Clara's head snapped up. How? Slapped his face for defending you. Clara's eyes filled with tears. She hit Ethan because of me? She did. And that's when I realized how wrong I was, how blind, proud, stupid. Clara fully opened the door. Come in. Let's talk. The room was small, simple, clean, a bed, dresser, tiny table. James felt awful seeing Clara live like this when he offered comfort. Clara, I need to tell you something. What? Ethan told me everything. How you cared for him during nightmares. Listened when he talked about his mom. Were the only one who truly noticed him. Clara sat on the bed, processing Ethan's illness. I always knew he was lonely. Anyone with a bit of heart could see. But I didn't because you were hurting too. Your wife's death hit you in a way you never processed. James was stunned by her insight. How do you know? I've lost someone dear. I know how pain blinds you to everything else. And still, you cared for Ethan because he needed it, and because... Clara hesitated. Because what? Because I grew to love him like a son in 8 months. James's heart tightened. Clara, I'm here to offer your job back. As a maid? As whatever you want. Maid, housekeeper, nanny, family. Whatever you choose. Clara went silent. thinking, Clara, Ethan's dying of missing you. Literally dying. He fainted yesterday from weakness. Doesn't eat, doesn't talk, stays in his room. You're the only one who can save him. And you've changed your mind about me? James looked ashamed. I have. I see you never manipulated Ethan or me. You just cared for him truly. And the 5 women? Gone for good. Ethan was right. They wanted my money, not my family. Clara walked to the small window, staring at the busy Miami street below. Mr. Carter, can I ask something? Of course. If I return, will you respect me as a person, not a maid, but someone who cares for Ethan because I love him? Yes. Will you work less and spend more time with your son? Yes. I see Ethan needs me as much as he needs you. And if you meet another woman someday, will you remember Ethan gets a say? James considered. Yes. Also, Clara, Ethan said yesterday you're the only one he wants as his mom. Watching you two, I see a real bond. Clara turned. What are you saying? James blushed. He hadn't planned this, but words spilled out. Maybe Ethan's right. Maybe you're exactly what our family needs. Mr. Carter, not as a maid, Clara as real family. Clara was speechless. I know it sounds crazy, James went on. 2 days ago, I thought you were a schemer. Now I see you might be the answer to our problems. What answer? Ethan needs a mom who loves him for real. I need someone to help me be a better dad. And you? You need a family that values you. Clara sat, overwhelmed. This is too fast, Mr. Carter. Too confusing. I know. I'm not asking for an answer now. I'm asking you to come back. Care for Ethan. Give us a chance to prove we've changed. And if it doesn't work, you leave when you want with all the respect and compensation you deserve. Clara was silent for long minutes. James waited anxiously. Okay, she said finally. I'll come back. James felt huge relief. Really? Really. But not for you, for Ethan. If he's sick, he needs me. That's all that matters. Want a ride? Clara looked around her sad little room, where she'd spent the 2 worst weeks of her life. Yes, let me grab my things. In 10 minutes. She had a small suitcase, ready to return to a home she never thought she'd miss. Clara, James said as they descended the stairs. Thank you. For what? For giving our family a second chance. Mr. Carter, can I be honest? Of course. I missed you both, especially Ethan. James smiled. First time in weeks. Then let's go home and take care of him. Let's. For the first time, they left that building not as boss and maid, but as 2 people wanting the same thing. Ethan's happiness. Ethan was at his bedroom window when he saw his dad's car pull into garage. His heart raced. Was Clara with him? Or had she refused to forgive? Maria ran up. Ethan, your dad's back. Did he bring Aunt Clara? I don't know, sweetie. Let's see. Ethan descended slowly, legs shaky from nerves and weakness. He stopped in the living room, waiting. The front door opened, and James entered alone. Ethan's heart sank. She didn't come back. James smiled. So impatient, you didn't even let me get inside. Dad, please, is she here? Why don't you ask her? Clara appeared in the doorway, suitcase in hand, a shy smile on her face. Aunt Clara. Ethan shouted, running, throwing himself into her arms. Clara dropped the suitcase and hugged him like he was the most precious thing. They stood there, crying, laughing, talking at once. I thought you'd never come back. Ethan sobbed. I thought so too, Clara admitted, but I couldn't stop thinking about you. You miss me? So much. Your stories, your questions, taking care of you. Ethan stepped back to look at her. You look different. How? Sadder. I made you sad. Clara smiled through tears. A little, but now I'm happy again. Maria, watching from the kitchen door, was crying too. So glad you're back, Clara. This house was dead without you. James watched silently. Seeing Ethan in Clara's arms, he saw how foolish he'd been. Their bond was real, pure, true. How could he think it was manipulation? Aunt Clara, Ethan said, still clinging, will you stay forever now? Clara looked at James, who nodded encouragingly. I'll stay as long as you want. So forever, because I'll never want you to leave. Deal. Ethan let go and ran to his dad. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for bringing her back. Don't thank me. I should have done it sooner. The important thing is we're a family again. The word family echoed. James and Clara exchanged glances, both thinking of their boarding house talk. Ethan, James said, Clara just got here. Let her rest a bit. No, I want to show her everything. Aunt Clara, come to my room. I've got so much to tell you. Clara laughed. Okay, but only if you promise to eat a proper lunch after. Promise. Now that you're back, I'll eat everything. They went upstairs, Ethan talking nonstop. Clara listening like every word was vital. James stayed in the living room, watching them go. Maria approached. Mr. Carter, you did the right thing. I hope so, Maria. You did. This house was a graveyard after Clara left. Now it's alive again. Maria, can I ask you something? Sure. Could Clara really become part of this family? Not as a maid, but as Ethan's mom? Maria smiled. Sir, she already is his mom. Just needs to be official. And as my wife, that's up to you. But in 20 years here, I've never seen you as human as today. Clara won't just help Ethan. She'll help you too. In Ethan's room, Clara listened to his detailed account of her absence. And then the woman slapped my face. Ethan said, indignant, my God, she really hit you? Yeah. See, there's still a mark. Ethan showed his cheek, faintly red. Clara touched it gently. Did it hurt a lot? Yeah. But you know what hurt more? What? Her saying bad things about you. That you only wanted Dad's money. And you defended me? I did. Said she was lying. That you cared for me for real. Clara hugged him again. You're the bravest boy I know. Aunt Clara, can I tell you a secret? Always. When you left, I talked to Mom every night through this bear. Ethan held up the teddy. I told her I was sad, missed you. What did she say? That you'd come back, that you loved me and wouldn't abandon me. Clara's eyes watered. Your mom was right. I know. She always knows stuff from heaven. Ethan, can I ask you something? Sure. How would you feel if I wasn't just your nanny or maid? What do you mean? Clara chose her words carefully. How would you feel if I was really part of the family? Ethan's eyes widened. Like Dad's wife? Clara blushed. Something like that. Are you marrying my dad? Ethan shouted, thrilled. Hush, we don't know yet. I'm just asking how you'd feel. Ethan thought for a moment. Aunt Clara, can I be honest? Always. Since you came, I've imagined you as my real mom. Imagine how? You tucking me in every night, taking me to school, caring for me when I'm sick. Us being a real family. How's that make you feel? Ethan grinned, the brightest smile Clara ever saw. Happy, so happy. So if it happens, when it happens, Ethan corrected, it'll be the best day of my life. Clara hugged him, emotional. You're so special, Ethan. So are you Aunt Clara? That's why I chose you that day in the backyard. You remember? I remember everything. You were scared. I was, but my heart knew you were the right one. Your heart knew? Yeah. Like Mom always said, the heart's never wrong when you love someone for real. Clara was moved by the 12-year-old's wisdom. Ethan, now that I'm back, promise you'll talk to me when you're sad or scared. Don't keep things inside. I promise. And you promise not to leave again? I promise. No matter what, I'll always be here for you. Even if Dad fights with you? Even then. Even if other women want to marry him? Clara laughed. Especially then. Ethan laughed too. Aunt Clara? Yeah, I love you. It was the first time he'd said it. Clara's heart burst. I love you too, Ethan. So much. Like I'm your son? Like you're my real son. Ethan beamed. Then you're already my mom in my heart, and I'm your son in yours. They hugged, sealing a love born naturally, unbreakable. Downstairs, James heard laughter from Ethan's room, the first genuine laugh in months. He climbed quietly, stood at the half-open door. Clara and Ethan were on the bed, flipping through a photo album. This is Mom pregnant with me, Ethan explained. She's beautiful, Clara said. Looks so happy. She was. Dad says she was overjoyed when she knew I was coming. And this one when you were born. That's us three in the hospital. Look at Dad smiling. James watched, realizing something new. Clara wasn't replacing Sarah. She was honoring her memory, helping Ethan keep her alive. Aunt Clara, Ethan said, when you marry Dad, you'll be my second mom. Mom Sarah will always be my first. Exactly. No one takes your mom's place. I'll be a new, different love. Like your dad says, the heart has room for lots of love. James's eyes teared up. Clara was teaching Ethan what he hadn't grasped. Loving again doesn't mean forgetting. He knocked. Can I come in? Dad, come see the photos. James sat with them. For the first time in 3 years, he looked at Sarah's photos without just pain. Look at this one, Dad. Ethan showed Sarah pregnant. Aunt Clara said Mom was so happy. She was. Couldn't wait for you to arrive. And my first birthday? That was a great party. Your mom invited every kid in the neighborhood. Clara watched father and son talk about Sarah naturally, without guilt. It was what Ethan needed. Dad. Ethan said later, can I ask something? Sure. Do you like Aunt Clara? James glanced at Clara, who blushed. I like her a lot, Ethan. As a friend or like Mom? The blunt question stumped them. Ethan, Clara began. It's important, Ethan pressed. If you like each other, you can date, marry, and we'll be a full family. James and Clara exchanged looks. Ethan's simplicity made it seem easy. Ethan, James said cautiously these things take time. How long? I don't know. Depends. Ethan thought. Dad, can I say something? Go ahead. You two already like each other. I see it in how you look. We're already like a family. So why not make it official? Clara laughed at his logic. It's not that simple, Ethan. Why not? You're Dad, and I haven't known each other long. 8 months isn't short. And it's not about time. It's about real love. James was struck by his son's insight. How do you know if people really love each other? Easy. They care, worry, are happy together like you two. Clara and James looked again. Ethan wasn't wrong. Ethan, James said, let's let things happen naturally. Okay, but I already approved the wedding. They all laughed. For the first time in 3 years, the house felt truly happy. Now, Clara said, let's go eat. You promised to eat well. I will, now that my family's whole. I'm hungry again. Ethan bounded downstairs, yelling to Maria he was starving. Clara and James stayed in the room. Clara, James said, thank you. For what? For giving me my son back and teaching me it's okay to love again without betraying who's gone. Clara smiled. Ethan taught me that. Kids have a wisdom we adults lose. What Ethan said about us marrying. How do you feel? Clara took a breath. Scared, happy, confused. Why scared? It's so fast. Yesterday I was your fired maid. Today I'm a potential wife. And happy? Because I fell in love with you both, this family. James stepped closer. Clara, can I be honest? Yes, I fell in love too. Don't know when or how. But with a woman who brought joy back to my son and taught me to be a dad again. Clara's heart raced. James, it's early, it's complicated, but I can't pretend I don't feel it. What do you feel? That you're exactly what Ethan and I always needed. That you didn't come here by chance. That maybe Sarah sent you to care for us. Clara teared up. You really believe that? I do. Ethan chose you that day in the backyard, but now I see my heart chose you too. Dad, Aunt Clara. Ethan yelled from downstairs. Food's ready. They laughed. Let's go, Clara said. Your son's hungry. Our son, James corrected. Clara smiled. Our son. They went down hand in hand for the first time. Ethan saw, clapped wildly. I knew it. I knew you'd get together. Maria emerged from the kitchen, smiling. What joy. This house needed love again. At lunch, Ethan talked nonstop, school, friends, his upcoming birthday plans. Aunt Clara, you'll be here for my birthday? Of course. Will you help plan the party? If you want. I do. Dad, you too? James smiled. Yeah, son. It'll be our first party together. After lunch, Ethan wanted to show Clara the backyard like she'd never seen it. Look, Aunt Clara, this is where I chose you. Really? You remember exactly where? Ethan ran to a spot by the pool. Here. I was here. You were there, and I pointed and said I wanted you as my mom. James watched. And you still want that? More than ever. Clara knelt to Ethan's level. Ethan, if I become your mom for real, will you always remember Mom Sarah? I promise. She'll be my heart's mom in heaven, and you'll be my heart's mom here. There's room in your heart for both? Ethan spread his arms. My heart's huge, has space for everyone I love. James hugged Clara from behind. So it's settled? What's settled? Ethan asked, curious. James looked at Clara, who smiled. That will make our family official soon. Really? Ethan shouted, running around the backyard. Maria, Maria, Dad's marrying Aunt Clara. Maria appeared, laughing. That's great, kid. Ethan ran back, hugged them both. Now we're a real family. James looked at the clear Miami sky. Sarah, our family's whole again. Thanks for sending Clara. Clara looked up too. Thank you, Sarah. I'll take good care of your boy. Ethan looked at them. She's watching, right? Mom's happy in heaven. She is, James said. I'm sure. In that backyard where it all began, a new family formed. Not replacing what was lost, but building something new and beautiful on true love's foundation. 6 months later, in a simple but heartfelt ceremony in the same backyard, James and Clara married. Ethan was the proudest ring bearer, beaming brighter than the sun. Now it's official, he said as they kissed. I've got the best family in the world. As guests clapped, Clara looked skyward and whispered, Thank you, Sarah. I'll love them forever. The breeze stirred the trees, as if Sarah gave her final blessing. The maid, chosen by a 12-year-old, became not just a wife and mother, but the one who restored joy to a broken family. And Ethan grew up knowing two special women, Sarah, who loved him first and forever, and Clara, who loved him. True love doesn't replace, it multiplies. The end. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share it with those who believe that true love multiplies. It doesn't replace. And tell me, from where you listened to this story,